Hey everyone, it's Priscilla from Assist Queen Crochet, and today I'm going to be showing you guys another beginner crochet lesson and how to do the single crochet stitch. But I'll also be showing you how to turn your work, how to work in rows, also how to increase and decrease, what the front and back of the stitch look like, and kind of how to count your rows as well. I'll link the timestamps for all of these things I'm going to be showing you right here, so you can skip to the part of the video that you want to see. All right, let's get into the video. All right, let's get right into it. So today I'm using Big Twist yarn in Sunrise, RIP Joann's, and I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook. The Big Twist Sunrise is a weight 4 yarn, and that pairs perfectly with the 5.5. Okay, so to get started, what you need to know is how to do a slip knot and how to chain. Before we start our single crochet, I have tutorials for each of those below in the description. Very slow, very easy to follow, but I'll real quick show you how to do a slip knot and a chain in case you forgot. Just a very quick little go over of that. So for the slip knot, make a loop, have the short yarn in the front, bring it around the back of the loop, partially through, put your hook in that loop, and then pull down. Once again, I have slow in-depth tutorials for this below. And to start off single crocheting, we're going to start off by chaining 11. And a quick recap on chaining: just yarn over and pull that yarn through the loop on your hook. And that is one chain. The chain looks like a V. And all of these V's are the chains that we are going to single crochet into. So yarn over, pull through. Another thing I put on my chain tutorial is yarn over, pull over. Once again, tutorials for each of these are below. We're going to chain 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so when we're doing our first row of single crochets onto our chain, what we're going to do is we're always going to skip the last chain that we did. So if we skip our last chain, we're only going to be single crocheting into the next 10 chains. So our first row is going to have 10 stitches. Now I am going to show you guys how to count the stitches after we do the single crochet tutorial. So to start off, we're going to skip the first chain, or the last chain that we just did on our little chain row. So row 1, this I'm saying it 1,000 times so you don't forget, skip the first chain. All right, then you're going to insert your hook into the second chain from your hook, or this chain right here. So skip one, this one right here. Now there's different ways that you can crochet into the first chain, into the chain. Some people go under both loops of the V, but I just like going onto this back loop right here. Front loop, back loop. I like going into the back loop of the chain. So the first step is to insert your hook into that back loop of that chain. That's step 1. Step 2 is to yarn over back to front. Step 3, pull that yarn through one loop on your hook. So I'm using my hook to pull it through that loop. The next step is to yarn over again, back to front, and now you're going to pull it through both of these loops. And I like to just make sure I have some space in those loops, and I turn my hook and I pull it through both loops on my hook. And that is a single crochet. Now to make sure that when you're going down your chain row, make sure not to go back into the same stitch you just went into, that big gaping hole. There's my stitch. Don't go back into that same loop. Make sure you go into the next chain on your hook. So that right there is one single crochet. Here's how the front looks. Here is how the back looks. See that little V right there? All right, let me show you guys how to do it again. All right, so I just went into that chain. Let's go into the back loop of our next chain. I just use the pointy part of my hook. I just insert it. Use my finger sometimes. Step 1, insert it into the next chain. Yarn over back to front. turn my hook, and pull it through one loop, yarn over back to front, and then pull it through both loops. Now for some people who have a hard time controlling their hook, you can also make sure you go into the next chain, not the one you just went into. Go into the next one, yarn over. Like when I teach some children, they sometimes find it easier just to pull that loop over. And then they yarn over again. Then they pull both loops over. Whatever way you want to do to crochet, but that is another way to do it. So now we have 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. We can also count by looking at the top, these V's. 1, 2, 3 V's. That's 3 double crochet. Make sure we're not counting that first chain that we skipped. We're just counting the stitches. 1, 2, and 3. All right, let me show you guys one more time. Go into your next chain and put into that back loop. Yarn over. Pull through one loop. Yarn over. Pull through both loops. Sorry for the shaky cam. All right. Now you're going to continue doing that until you get to the end of your row. And then when we get to the end of our row, I'm going to show you how to turn your row and do another one. But before that, I will show you guys how to count your stitches. Feel free to pause and you can continue working slowly into the end of your row. I'm just going to speed up a little bit and get to the end. Then we're going to count our stitches. Now pause if you're not here yet, and then continue the video when you're there. All right, so here I just worked into the last chain that I did. Now once again, we start off with 11 chains and we skipped 1 chain. So we crocheted into 10 of those chains. So we should have 10 stitches. So let's count. We count by doing the V's on top. Those are the tops of our stitches. Also, the sides look like this. Here's the front of my single crochet. Another little V right there with a little bump above it. So I can count it that way too, but counting on top is easier. And once again, here is how the back of each single crochet looks. There's one. There's another one. There's another one. So knowing how the stitch looks on the front and the back will also help you know how to count how many rows you've done. So we've only done 1 row. All right, let's count the top, the V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So there's my 10 stitches. All right, let me show you guys how to turn your work and how to do another round. Another row. So to turn your work is easy. Just grab your work, literally just flip it like this. And that is how you turn your work. Now, you're like, okay, where do I crochet into for the second row? You turn just like this and you see all of those V's. That's what we're going to go into. Now, row 2 and beyond is going to be a little bit different than crocheting into your chain. But I'll show you after we start the first row. The second row. Oh my goodness, my words. So to start off each row, you can just yarn over and just do 1 chain. This is the beginning of each row you're going to do a single crochet. Now, there's different ways to start the row, but I'm showing you guys just a basic, easy beginner way. Just chain 1. I'll show you again. Just chain 1 at the beginning of each row. So I turn my work, and now I'm just chaining 1. That chain 1, we're not going to go into it. It doesn't count as a stitch. It's just there at the beginning of the row. So turn my work a little bit like this so I can see all of the V's or the tops of the stitches of my last row I just did. Can you see them? You got to turn it a little bit to see them. Looking like this is confusing. Turn like that to view the top. All right. Now there's a chain 1 we just did. We're not going to work into that chain 1 at all. Pretend it's not there. So instead of going like we did in the first row, going to just the back loop of our stitch, for everything now, we're going to go into the front and the back loop of our V's to do our stitches. So I'm going to get my hook. I'm going to use the pointy part. and just stick it underneath both loops. And this counts as 1, not 2. So this counts as 1 loop. So we're going to do a single crochet. Same thing as before. Yarn over, pull through the loop. Then remember, going under that stitch, this counts as 1 loop. Yarn over, pull through both loops. And that is our first single crochet of row 2. Let's do it again. Make sure you're not going back into the same stitch you just did. Make sure you're going into your next one. Don't forget, turn your work a little bit if you have to see the next V. So we just went into here. Let's go into our next one. Put your hook under both loops, not just the back loop, under both loops. Using your finger sometimes helps to pull it over your hook. This counts as 1 loop. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both loops. And that is how you're going to start the rest of your rounds. Just go into your next your next stitch, which is that V. Insert it, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So I'm going to continue on and finish off this row 2. I'm going to show you guys the end of the row. So we're going to go ahead and just continue on doing single crochets in each stitch. Insert it, yarn over, pull through 1 loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. So here we are at the end of my row, and here's my last stitch, that V right there. It's really easy to think that that chain 1 that we skipped in row 1 is a stitch. It's not. If we look at my work, the back of that stitch right there, single crochet, I know that's my last stitch. That's just a chain. There's no stitch on that one. This one is the last stitch. If you don't get it, take you some time to, do that. But you can use stitch markers to mark your first and your last stitch so that you don't mess up and accidentally go somewhere where you're not supposed to go. I suggest that after each row, count your stitches to make sure that it's the same on every single row, to make sure that you're not accidentally increasing or decreasing. So let's count our stitches on row 2. So we got 1, remember it's the V's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's got the same as row 1, so I know I'm on the right track. So now we're going to get into how to do an increase. So let's start off our row with a chain 1. Remember, every row you do, after you turn your work like this, sorry, I didn't turn my work, you're going to do a chain 1. Start your row. All right, so when you see an increase, it might say single crochet into 1 stitch, or it might say single crochet increase. So here's how to do that. We're going to learn how to do 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So I'm going to go into my stitch normally. They're both loops. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, to do an increase or a single crochet 2 into 1 stitch, I'm going to go back into the same stitch that I just worked into to do another single crochet into that same stitch. So here's the one I just did. There's a hole, or the stitch I just went into. We're going to go right back into it. Sorry, messed up a little bit there. Go back into the same one you just went into. And do a single crochet. Yarn over, pull up 1, yarn over, pull through 2. And as you can see, we have 2 little single crochets coming out of the same exact stitch. And that is an increase. Now, some patterns might say single crochet 3 into 1 stitch or 4. Whatever it says, just do that many into the same stitch. So for example, if they want you to do 3 into the same stitch, you go right back into the same stitch, do another single crochet, and now you have 3 single crochets in the same stitch, and that is also an increase. So I'll show you one more time. Let's go into our next stitch. There's our V that we're going to crochet into. Insert it, yarn over, pull through that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So if I want to increase or do 2 single crochet into the same stitch, I'm just going to go back into that same stitch I just went into, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And there's another increase. Here's how the back looks. We got 2 stitches coming out of the same stitch. All right, so practice that. And now I'm going to show you guys how to do a decrease. All right, so when you do a decrease, it might show up like single crochet 2 together or single crochet decrease. Some might even say single crochet 3 together or 4 together. Whatever you do, there is a formula to do it. So let's start at the beginning. A regular single crochet 2 together or a regular single crochet decrease. We're going to be working into 2 stitches at once, but we'll one at a time, but at the same time, I'll explain. So here are our next stitches that we're going to do a decrease into. There's 1 stitch, there's the other stitch. I'm going to get my hook. I'm going to go into that first stitch. I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. But I'm not going to finish that stitch. I'm going to go into the next stitch and yarn over and pull up a loop. Now I got 3 loops on my hook. To finish off the decrease, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And now we have 2 single crochets together. We have them right there, and we only ended up with 1 V. So we just decreased these 2 and made it into just 1 big old decrease stitch right there. Now, for example, let's say that they want you to do a single crochet 3 together. We're going to work across 3 stitches. So same formula, insert it into the first stitch. There's our V. Yarn over, pull up 1. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up 1. Go into the third stitch, yarn over, pull up 1. We got 4 loops on our hook. We're single crocheting 3 stitches together. So 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on your hook. And that is a single crochet 3 together decrease. So whatever stitches you need to decrease on, just go into each one and pull up 1 on each stitch that you want to decrease into. And that is how you do a single crochet decrease. Hope you guys found that super helpful. So now that we've increased twice, decreased a few times, let's see how many stitches we have. Let's count our V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Remember, that is our last stitch. We're not the chain that we did to start our row. So I'm way off, but it makes sense because I decreased and increased randomly. So here is our finished product. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crochet a nice little square, and I'm going to show you guys how to count your single crochet rows. Alright, I might have needed to use like a, different color yarn to show you guys this better, but yet here we are. Don't roll away from me. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so let's look at our rows the best we possibly can with this color choice of yarn. I apologize. So let's look at our rows. So remember how I showed you guys how the front and the back of each stitch looked? That's where this comes in handy. As we can see, my first row here, there is the front of my stitch. If you go right above it, there's the back of the second row. If you go above that, row, row, row. So here's how the back of the stitch looks. Let's try to focus that for you guys. And here is how the front of the stitch looks when it's worked into. The front is like a little V, and the back is like a little upside down V with like a little, line across the top. Reminds me of like a Chinese character. So let's count our rows. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is how many rows we have. So just practice and make sure you guys pay attention to how the front and the back of your stitches look. So guys, I think that's all for this video. If not, we'll have a little cut in right here if I forgot to show you guys something. But that's single crochet in a nutshell. Single crochet, how to count your stitches, how to count your rows, how to increase, how to decrease, everything. I hope you guys found this super helpful. If you want to see a video of how I hold my hook and yarn, Sorry, my stuttering is coming out. I'll post it somewhere else. In the description, I have the playlist for all my beginner tutorials. But yeah, I have everything linked in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment for the algorithm. Comment single crochet or comment crochet rocks. Commenting helps push out my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video as well, and have an awesome day, my crochet kings and queens, and I'll see y'all in my next video. I've also linked below all of my recommended beginner materials in the description below as well. All right, love you guys. See you later.